According to an article by Johns Hopkins Medicine, the arteries and veins carry blood throughout the body, delivering oxygen and nutrients to the body tissues, and also taking away tissues waste matter. This is exactly how the plumbing works on our fish tank. Hello guys, welcome back to Manny's Reef. This is Fun Reefer, and I'm excited to be with you guys again. I'm excited to be sharing another episode of our reef build, and in this episode we're going to be talking about plumbing. I'm going to share with you how I plumb my system. But before we do that, let's take a step back. Let's watch this out. Check it out. Alright, so when your heart beats, right, it pumps blood and sends blood throughout your entire system, throughout your entire body, and that's why individual parts of your body like your hands can move, eyes can operate, your legs can move, right? And it's all because the heart can distribute blood through your veins and arteries. This is the same thing that happens in plumbing. With plumbing, though, especially if you have like an external filtration system, right, like a sump, your tank sends wastewater to the sump through the pipes, right? The sump cleans the waters and filters the water, and then send the water back to your tank. Now let's take you back a little bit. Before I went on this building, I had this vision of having a main display. I wanted an anemone tank. I wanted a seahorse tank, and I also wanted a mantis shrimp tank. But I wanted each individual tank running but on one system. That was the whole idea. This is gonna be a fun video I'm excited to share with you. Now, without wasting much time, let's go ahead and dive into it. Enjoy. So before we talk about the plumbing, let me just go ahead and shed a little light on the stand. Here's what the system looks like after I finish building the stand. If you want to see how you build the stand, you can go ahead and click this link. But I want to give a very special thanks to my friend Guy. He was always there to help us out. He was always a phone call away. This was my first build by myself. The previous one, he helped me build it. We built it together. So very big shout out to Guy, man. Thank you so much. Alright, so in this video, we're going to show you how to do plumbing. By the time of this video, I've already like plumbed everything. The tank is running, but I brought two different tanks, right? So when you want to, the whole reason for plumbing is to connect one tank to another, connect maybe your main display to a sump, or whatever different tanks you have, connect each tanks together. So in this video, this is going to be our sump and this will be our main display. And this just to give you like the basic idea of what you need and how to connect two tanks together. The first thing you'll need, of course, is your measuring tape. I'm going to use the measuring tape to measure the distance from one pipe to the other. You need this so you can know, of course, the length of pipe you need. You also need to know the kind of pipe you have. In this case, I have a 1-inch pipe, I have a 2-inch pipe, and I have a 3/4 pipe. I could go ahead and make a straight line like this and voila, done, but that would be too boring, right? So I want to show you how to use different tools in this, okay? I'll put this on the side. So we have straight pipes, straight connectors. We have 90-degree connectors. You have 45-degree connectors. And you also have them on different sizes. You have a T, so where you can have a pipe coming up this way and through this way. And all this is going to come in handy. You also have this for when you drill a hole through your tank. You basically put this through the hole and it prevents leak. These tanks are not drilled, so we're not going to use it, but you get the understanding. So if you put it through here, you put your pipe. Let's use this guy. Put your pipe up. Wrong one. through here and it goes in through the hole, right? Now for the pipes to seal together, you're gonna need one of these. I got this from Home Depot, and this basically like a primer. This primes the pipes, and after you apply the primer, you gotta apply the actual adhesive, and this kind of glue seals the pipes together. So in this video, I'm gonna connect this to this. I'm gonna use our imagination. We're gonna have, like, imagine that we have, you know, a curved wall. I want to show you how you can differentiate between a 45-degree, you know, and a 90-degree holes. So let's go ahead and then of course to cut your pipes, you need a pipe cutter. I don't think we'll need it now, but this definitely comes in handy. So to connect the pipes, I'm gonna go from here. Let's see what we can do. Come see what we can come up with. Oh look, I know these are like spare pipes that I already have. Okay, so I'm gonna connect this to this. I think that works. Let's see. Let's find out. So we have this. I'm gonna have this all in here for my return. Maybe I'm gonna connect this to this somehow. And then I also want a pipe coming from upstairs somewhere, right? So if I want another pipe coming from upstairs, all I need to do is connect my T to that, right? And then the T will take pipes going from up there, all right? And then let's connect this to this, right? And now the goal was to connect this to this, right? But you see, you can either use a 90-degree or you can use a 45-degree. So I think we have a 45-degree somewhere. I want to show you how a 45-degree would come in handy, because sometimes your wall is like curved. Which one issue that I had, the walls were like curved, right? So I had to figure out how to use a 45-degree. Connect this to this, and now how do we connect this to this? Let's find out, right? It's easy. We can just connect this to this like that. Voila, done. Now remember, on each joint, while you can this like first you do a dry run and see if it fits, see how it fits, and see how well you can. If you like what you see, then you can you go back to each joint. Go back to each joint. Take your sealant, and so let's say I want to seal this part to this part, right? I take the primer, open this up, prime around here, just the edge, and then I take the final glue and then I apply it over and just slide it in, and this is going to be sealed for life. Nothing will ever happen to it. And that's pretty much what I did on my system. So this is pretty much the basics of plumbing in our system. Using good amount of glue, good quality glue, that actually helps. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk about something even very important that comes in handy, something called valves. Valves are really important. They kind of help with controlling the amount of flow that flows through the pipes in your system. So you can either shut it off, you know, using that valve turn, or shut it back on. You can also control how much water flows through your pipes. Now that we see it, let's go in and show you how everything works on the system. But before we do that, I want to show you a little bit of extra. Use clamps to like hold the pipes together. I also have this quick disconnector. It's for like it's connecting the algae scrubber, the UV sterilizer, the chiller, and other equipment. I'll show you in the main display when we get in there. After we're done with all that, we went ahead and started drilling. If you want to see how to drill, go ahead and click this link up here. It shows you exactly how to drill. Once we were satisfied with our drilling, we went ahead and cleaned the hole. We're satisfied, and we went ahead and started working on the sump. Now to build the sump, I gotta give a quick shout out to Simeon, my brother, man. Thank you so much, Simeon. Simeon was very helpful. We pretty much just built the sump by adding baffles and measuring where we wanted each media to go. And this time we ended up using a roller mat instead of a filter socks because it was just easier to work with. And here is the main plumbing. Here's the dry run we talked about earlier. Basically everything just hanging on each other and making sure we fit to what we like before we glue it. And once we're satisfied with our looks and went ahead and glued them all together, here's the top view of the back of the system, how it looks. And here is the manifold. So with the manifold, I basically just have a pump running through it, different outlets. With the outlet, I use the valve and the quick disconnect. With the quick disconnect, I connected the algae scrubber, the chiller, media reactors such as your carbon and GFO. Also connected a UV sterilizer. I also had like 1 or 2 spares just in case for any emergency. And here's the view of how everything looks. Alright, so here's the issue I'm having is when the water drains from the main drain system and the anemone tank, they all drain into the rock tank. Now if you see, the rock tank has a 1¼ inch drain, 2 1¼ inch drain draining into the refugium. The refugium also has 2 1¼ inch drain draining out to the sump. Now the problem is in the sump we're using, you know, the roller mat right here, but the roller mat only has 1 1 inch drain connection. So what we did before we ran water was that we merged these 2 1¼ inch drain, turned that into one run 1¼ inch. However, when we got here, we had to step down to 1 inch for it to drain into the filter. The problem with that is that the amount of water coming through the main display and the anemone tank, right, and gushing through this 1 1¼ hole to the refugium, and through exiting the refugium through this 2 1¼ inch is so much that this step down 1 inch drain, just a single 1 inch drain, cannot hold all that water. So that what happens as a result is that we start to have pressure build up here, and this water starts to fill above this, and if left unchecked would eventually just grow and go overboard. So to fix it, or to attempt to fix it, is that I'm gonna disconnect that connection, probably cut it right here, cut it right here, and cut it right here. I'm gonna make each line their own single drain, so that we can have a double 1 1/4 inch all through the tank, all through the system. The problem with that, however, is that this roller mat would only have, it's a single hole. So unfortunately, we're still gonna go back to using filter socks or the the filter pad, or any other of those kind of filtration that we're trying to prevent initially, because we only have one of these and it only takes that 1 inch. So yes, we're going to leave the one running in here and the second one on the filter socks. That's what we're gonna do for now until we'll find another way to get that fixed. I'll keep you posted. So in the process of cutting the pipe behind that, I kind of broke the tank. That's why you need an overflow box. So overflow box will help prevent things like this. So here's the main display. This is gonna be for a mantis shrimp tank. This is gonna be a seahorse tank. That's gonna be the anemone and clownfish harem tank. So the plan is the water will drop between the main display. The water is gonna drop down here to these tanks, this tank that will hold the rocks, and then the water will also drop from the anemone tank all the way to this tank that holds the rock. From this tank, the water will flow to the seahorse tank and the refugium, and then from the refugium the water will flow down to the sump, have the whole filtration. Then we also have in the drawer right here. We also have the algae scrubber where we're gonna grow little greener algae just to help take out nutrients that will extra nutrients like phosphate, especially and nitrate, that will be built up by this guy right here. So there you have it. I must really say that this drawer came in handy with the algae scrubber. I made everything easily accessible. If you want to see how we built this algae scrubber, go ahead and click the link above, which pretty much shows every step of the way and how we built this algae scrubber. I must say that it's like a way affordable way of building an algae scrubber, way affordable than what we have in your market. It's like what, more than 10 times cheaper really. But that's how we have our system set up. And this brings us to the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed watching this episode. In this episode, we talked about plumbing. We talked about how to connect your plumbings together, how to connect your tanks together, what equipment to use. We showed you the mistakes that we made and how to prevent such mistakes. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you want to see future videos coming up, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Please feel free to follow us on Instagram at FunReefer, also on TikTok at FunReefer. As usual, stay blessed and I'll catch you in the rebound.